I never meant to hide my success. On a chilly Christmas Eve in 2019, I stood outside my aunt's suburban ranch house in Austin, watching frost gather on my leather boots. I thought about how different things might have been if my family had believed in me just once. I'm Tessa Langford, founder and CEO of Solaria Strategy Partners, an energy consulting firm making waves across the Southwest. But to my family, I'm still the reckless one who quit a safe analyst job at Dawson and Greens 6 years ago to play entrepreneur. Last Christmas, the questions had started the moment I walked in. Still freelancing? My cousin Maryanne asked, swirling her wine, her Rice MBA on display. Uncle Dean knows someone hiring at Chevron, my mom added helpfully, unaware Chevron had just paid my firm over $3 million to restructure their regional solar division. My uncle Robert, VP at the family's oil company, Langford Energy Services, had always judged success as loyalty. Business degree, oil job, network aggressively, he preached. I chose differently. After double majoring in environmental science and economics, I spent 4 years at Dawson and Greens building real results, not office politics. My first solo client, a tiny wind tech company in Leach, doubled output in 5 months. When I resigned, my mother cried, "You're walking away from a future." She didn't know I was walking into one. I built Solaria quietly, strategically. The co-working space downtown they knew me from? A decoy. My actual headquarters occupied the top 3 floors of Austin's premier high-rise, overlooking Lady Bird Lake. Now I rang the doorbell. My aunt greeted me, worried but smiling. "Ta, sweetie, your Uncle Robert's here with investors. Maybe don't mention your little business tonight." Inside, the house buzzed with Christmas cheer, string lights, chatter, catered hors d'oeuvres. Maryanne held court by the fireplace, flashing her engagement ring. Jared, her fiancé and junior VP at Langford Energy, stood nearby, soaking in praise. "Tessa, come meet Glenn Martin from Velocity Core. They're hiring data entry," my tipsy uncle called from the bar. I almost laughed. Velocity Core was my client. My team was finalizing their $120 million transition into renewable energy. But to them, I was just the family dreamer. Then Uncle Robert swept in, trailing 2 board members. "These merger talks with Horizon Grid are killing me," he boomed. Horizon Grid? My company, a shell I had formed to bait Langford Energy into overextending. One board member muttered, "If only we could get a meeting with Solaria Strategy Partners." I sipped my cider, hiding a smirk. They didn't know I was already in the room. The room fell silent when I spoke. "From what I hear, Langford's market share has shrunk. The merger with Horizon Grid isn't bold expansion, it's a lifeline." Faces went pale. My uncle's drink froze midair. My mother's eyes widened. My father's jaw clenched. "You've always been reckless," he hissed, pulling me toward the kitchen. "Your little consulting hobby, pretending you know business, has embarrassed me." Maryanne leaned in, faux concern on her face. Maybe she should leave. The merger matters more than her feelings. "Fine," I said softly, grabbing my coat. "But remember this moment. Tomorrow will be enlightening." I stepped into the cold night. "Merry Christmas," I said. The next morning, I walked into Solaria before sunrise. Only 3 people knew Tessa Langford and TL Phoenix, the CEO, were the same. Today, that secret would shatter. At 10 a.m., the Langford delegation arrived. 8 people. Uncle Robert for board members, the interim CEO, my father, Maryanne, and Jared. I opened the door. "Where's TL Phoenix?" my uncle demanded. I stepped to the head of the table. "I am TL Phoenix. Tessa Langford, CEO of Solaria Strategy Partners." Their faces went pale. I smiled. "Emma, distribute the merger packages." As the folders hit the table, their carefully constructed world began to unravel. "The Langford Energy delegation is scheduled for 10 a.m., Emma said, stepping in with her tablet. "Your uncle has called 4 times, trying to push it earlier." I smiled, settling into my seat. The entire floor was designed to command attention, floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the skyline, original sculptures, soft lighting, and at the center, my desk carved from reclaimed longleaf pine, a quiet nod to power with roots. This was my world, not my aunt's kitchen, not their dinner tables. Here, no one could tell me I didn't understand business. How many are coming? I asked, flipping through the Horizon Grid merger files. 8, Emma replied. Robert Langford, for board members, their interim CEO, your father, Maryanne, and her fiancé. She paused. Maryanne was just promoted to head of strategic growth, a title for loyalty, not merit. I inhaled deeply, still hearing my father's voice from the night before. Emma nodded. Call Gregory at Horizon Grid. Tell him to be ready. Gregory ran my shell company and knew exactly how to play his part today. At 9:45, Emma's voice returned over the intercom. They've arrived early. Let them wait 15 minutes. In that quiet time, I centered myself. No more masks. No more shrinking. At precisely 10 o'clock, I saw their outlines through the frosted glass. My uncle pacing, my father stern, Maryanne whispering to Jared. I adjusted my blazer, touched up my lipstick, and opened the door. Silence. Excuse me, Uncle Robert said. Where's TL Phoenix? We're here to meet Solaria's CEO. I walked calmly to the head of the table. You are, he asked. TL Phoenix. Tessa Langford, CEO of Solaria Strategy Partners. Faces went pale. This can't be, my father muttered. She's bluffing, Maryanne snapped. Sit down, I said coolly.
She did.
Emma, distribute the merger packages. As the folders hit the table, I watched their world begin to unravel. Detailed analyses of Langford Energy's finances, market weaknesses, and my proposed merger terms filled the pages. I began smoothly. Langford's position is more fragile than anyone here realizes. Your modernization efforts failed. Capital reserves burned through. Your market share has dropped 42% in the past 3 years. Without this merger, you're 6 months from collapse. Uncle Robert's face darkened. How dare you? These figures are confidential. Nothing is confidential for me, I replied. Solaria has tracked Langford Energy for years. We also own large portions of your debt through holding companies. And Horizon Grid? That's my shell company. Jared laughed nervously. Impossible. Horizon Grid is international. It is, I said. But it's mine. Built for one purpose. To force this moment. Every missed deadline. Every overlooked clause. You were playing against me. My father finally spoke. Why would you do this? I looked him in the eyes. Because no one at this table ever believed I belonged here. Last night, you kicked me out for speaking up. Today, you'll listen. I pressed a button. Charts switched to action items. This merger will happen, but on my terms. First, the entire board resigns. This is madness. Uncle Robert slammed the table. Then Langford Energy collapses. Your call. The room erupted. Legal threats, sobs, furious whispers. My father stared, seeing me for the first time. Eventually, silence returned. What are your terms? Uncle Robert asked. Restructuring, fresh leadership, and an end to nepotism. And Maryanne and Jared? Removed. All future positions based on merit. You can't do this. Maryanne sobbed. Dad, stop her. He didn't. As they signed the final agreements, my father remained seated, eyes full of regret. You were right about me, he whispered. Yes, I replied. Merry Christmas. I watched the Austin skyline glow as twilight settled. Emma handed me a glass of champagne. Congratulations, she said gently. Though this isn't the end. She was right. My family now knew who I really was, but they still didn't understand what I was capable of. Tomorrow would bring headlines, restructuring challenges, and a media firestorm. Tonight, though, I allowed myself one breath of satisfaction. The woman dismissed at Christmas dinner now controlled Langford Energy's fate. Revenge didn't need to be loud, only precise. I raised my glass toward the darkened window. Merry Christmas, I whispered. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. News of TL Phoenix's true identity exploded. Every outlet wanted the story. Tessa Langford, the consultant who outsmarted her legacy. Messages flooded in from family, furious, or sentimental. I ignored them all until one caught my eye. Sophie Langford, Uncle Robert's youngest, the only one who never mocked me. You inspired me. Watching you claim your power gave me courage. I'm starting something of my own. For the first time in months, I smiled at a family message. Anna, schedule lunch with Sophie Langford and look into her startup, I said to Emma. Ask family? Emma asked. No, I said. An investment in real potential. That's the legacy I want to leave.